Hey guys, wanted to make a quick video for you today, just discussing key programming on Chrysler vehicles using the Autel Maxisys. In particular, we're going to be talking about key programming on wind module style vehicles with the FOB style, like Mercedes style ignition keys. In this case, I'm using the Maxisys MS906, but pretty much most Autel tablets are the same. Procedure will be the same. So what you're going to need to get started, anytime I'm doing any kind of security work, I want to grab all the customers' keys. I don't want to be chasing customers down for keys. If, something goes wrong and we got to erase all keys and start from scratch, now the spare key they have at home doesn't work, not a good situation. Make sure you get all the customers' keys on hand. In this case, we're just adding a spare key for the customer. They're down to one key, they lost one or it broke, I'm not sure what the story is, but they wanted a spare key. They got a cheap Amazon one. I mean, it is what it is. My opinion is you should always use factory keys, factory equipment, but I can also understand they don't want to spend $100+ for an ignition key that's just going to sit in their drawer. So that aside, we're going to need both ignition keys, and we're going to need the PIN code for the vehicle. Now, to get the PIN code, the right way to do it is to go and become a member of NASTAF, become a registered locksmith, get your LSID, and go ahead and retrieve the PIN code that way. I know some dealers will give you the PIN code. If they will, that's fine, but we're dealing with security related items. So again, best bet, become a member of NASTAF, support doing things the right way, and get the PIN codes that way. And just when doing things that are security related, I feel a lot better going through the correct routes. So that being said, we're going to start by putting our unprogrammed key in the ignition. Turn the key on. We'll go ahead and identify the vehicle. In this case, we have a 2012 Dodge Caravan. And from this screen, you can go right into hot function and just select a mobilizer and do it that way. But I'm going to go in through the wireless control module. So what you'll do is you'll hit this control unit screen and go to body. And right here on the bottom left, we have WCM wireless control module. So the wireless control module handles the tire pressure monitoring functions, as well as remote keyless entry and ignition key functions. So at this point, we're going to go into special functions. And we have a couple options here. We can erase all ignition keys. Say the customer's keys were stolen, or they lost the key and they don't want the key to function anymore. We can erase all keys and start from scratch. We have PCM replaced. What we're going to do is we're going to go to program ignition keys or key fobs, because we're just adding a key to this vehicle. So this screen is just telling us what this function is going to do. It's going to add a new key to the vehicle, and it wants us to leave the key in the run position. It's important to note too that if you're adding a key to a Chrysler vehicle, the key is learning the vehicle and the vehicle is learning the key. So once a key is programmed to a Chrysler product, it doesn't work for any other vehicle. So you can't take a used key and program it to another car. Checking the ignition status, checking for PIN. Okay, at this point, we're going to have to enter the vehicle's PIN number. Like I said, become a member of NASTAF, get the PIN codes, do it the right way. So in this case, we have our PIN code right here, so we're going to enter it in. And an important thing to note at this point, if you enter the wrong PIN 3 times in a row in a Chrysler vehicle, it's going to lock the vehicle out. At that point, the only way to go back in and try again is to leave the ignition key on for an hour. So if you do wind up putting the wrong PIN code in 3 times in a row, just leave the key on, put a battery tender on the vehicle, leave it for an hour, come back in, try it again. So we've entered our PIN code. We're going to hit OK. Please verify this is the right PIN code, and it warns us about the anti-scan lockout. I'm sure it's the right PIN code. It asks us to place an unprogrammed ignition key into the ignition, turn it to the run position. We've already done that. Hit OK. Our security light just went out. That's a good sign. And key program was successful. So at this point, we can hit continue to program another key, or OK. It says continue, but we would hit OK to program another key, or hit cancel to back out, and we're done. And it did note that we should cycle the key on and off before starting the vehicle. So we will back out, put our tool down. One cool thing to note about Chrysler vehicles is when you do program the key, you're also programming the fob functions. So we'll hit the lock button. It locks the doors. That's a good sign. Key in. Vehicle starts and runs. We have no security warning lamps illuminated. So it was successful. And the only thing I would want to do before releasing the vehicle is obviously check our other key, just to make sure we didn't lose that key in the process. Here's the second key. Unlocks the doors. Starts the vehicle. And again, no security telltale. So we've successfully programmed a new key to this vehicle. I hope this video was helpful to someone. If it was, give it a thumbs up. And stay tuned for future videos. Thanks.